This year marks RM's 35th anniversary. It also marks the 30th private collection that RM is very proud to present at auction. And in those 30 private collections, we've covered virtually every imaginable segment of the collector car market. In so doing, we've set more records than anyone else, and we've, again, held more of these kinds of specialized private collection sales than anyone else as well. From music instruments to cars, micro cars, vending machines, neon signs, you name it, we have experience in it, and we've been very successful in presenting it at auction. In fact, we've also done collections that aren't necessarily very broad in their scope, but they're very specialized, be it a focus on Ford cars or specific neon signs exclusively. Microcars are one very specific segment of the collector car market that again require a tailored approach from marketing through logistics. In fact, one area that we also specialize in is adding those elements of tailored approach to a small collection that we might add to an existing calendar auction. So if we have 10, 20, even 30 cars that really would do very well at a calendar auction at one of our existing locations like Hershey, Amelia Island, perhaps overseas, Monterey, Detroit, Michigan, if we take those cars and present them at auction, we take a very similar approach, perhaps in a pared down manner. Biographies are written, specialized photography is done. We consult with the collector, the owner, and understand what exactly are we trying to get across. Is there a legacy that we're preserving of maybe a patriarch that started collecting these cars? The considerations are entirely the same, but effectively what we're capable of doing is adding those cars, that real exclusive selection of cars, to an existing auction, and if it warrants, perhaps a sizable auction entirely its own at the collector's hometown. The entire process really begins with a cataloging trip. This is the point of research. This is the point at which we determine what will actually comprise the sale. It also goes hand in hand with our design team's vision for this particular collection that really represents what the owner, what the collector is all about. The themes, the presentation, the catalog, the look of the catalog itself, and of course also the design work that goes into our ads and every element of our marketing. That really informs what our cataloging team does on site and the research that they bring to the table. Many times, particularly if it's an area that is relatively new to us, we will engage experts around the world that we know are the leading authorities in those particular fields. Whether it's a hall clock or a piece of neon, music instruments of course, we want to ensure that if there is an expert out there that knows as much as we do about cars and as much as we do about memorabilia, that we've engaged their help from the beginning to ensure that we're presenting these items fairly, accurately, and that our valuation of those items is market correct as well. Once the cataloging trip is wrapped up, the information that is gleaned from that trip, as well as all the photography that has been taken, now benefits the entire RM machine, and there will be over 100 people working specifically on that sale for many, many months, from catalog production to our PR team, client services, marketing, operations. Every department at RM is now singularly focused on ensuring that that sale is a success. One of the big steps, the real core element of that collection, is the catalog that represents not only what the collection is about, but what the collector, the enthusiast, hopes to bring across in his or her collecting vision. And the type of language we use, the photography, the historic component, even in the case of a microcar sale, the sheer size of the catalog, or in the case of the Millhouse collection, the size on the other end of the spectrum. The sheer weight of the catalog represents what that collection is about and what we hope to bring across to those enthusiasts. Marketing is a very, very large component of what it takes to promote a private collection, particularly since a lot of the categories will be related to or perhaps entirely separate from classic cars. And certainly in the way of advertising, PR, club outreach, specialized tours that we host, digital marketing, online presence, in all of those areas we have a very strong understanding in the car field. But we also want to ensure that if there is, again, a clock, a piece of memorabilia, model cars, whatever it might be, that we ensure that every imaginable buyer on the planet who has an interest in those things realizes how special, rare, and unique the items in this particular collection might be. And so we will advertise in club publications. We will invite those clubs to attend the actual event itself. every imaginable kind of digital and online marketing we utilize, any kind of print publication that is relevant to that type of buyer. Then of course local outreach. Keep in mind all of our private collections are usually held on site at the collector's hometown. So we want to ensure that even if it's local media, local newspapers, people realize that in that particular hometown, in their neighborhood, there are about to be some very, very exciting items coming up for auction. So marketing for us, it really takes the bedrock, the groundwork that we've laid with our classic car events and the enthusiasts and collectors that we've met in that field. And then we really grow on that into a variety of areas that suit that particular collection. And as such, what we're really doing is tailoring a specific marketing plan that suits that collection's price point, that collection's content, and the kinds of buyers we hope to see at the event itself. Certainly the area in which RM Auctions has distinguished itself more than anyone else is in that of on-site logistics. All the considerations that need to be addressed before an auction actually takes place physically on-site. It isn't simply the seating and the staging and the lighting, all of which are challenges in and of themselves. But it is the fact that every building, every venue, be it outdoors, indoors, has its own considerations, and each one has its own challenges. And we've really addressed over the course of the past 30 events every imaginable kind of challenge. Again, the staging, the lighting, the hotel arrangements, the travel arrangements, relationships with local licensing and permitting considerations, you name it, every collection is slightly different, and every collection needs a bit of a tailored approach. Again, if the event is run smoothly and we've handled all of those issues appropriately and efficiently, then we can ensure that our buyers that are sometimes traveling from very far around the country, perhaps overseas, have a very hassle-free and easy and efficient experience once they get on site. It really rounds out the experience they've been having with us for 6 months beforehand. They've seen the ads, they've received the catalog, they've received personalized phone calls and addressed any questions they might have had. But the rubber really meets the road in that particular weekend. The net result of all that effort, from start to finish, the catalog production to the marketing, the client services, all the logistics and the outreach, is results. And from every imaginable category, RM has set more records, and sometimes extraordinary 2-, 3-fold records than any other auction house in the industry. And we're very proud of that. But a large part of that really is the people at RM Auctions. And I think that's really where we shine, that's where we really set ourselves apart. It is not in the number of people only, and we do have a lot of people working on these sales. It is on the caliber of people that have been at RM for 10, 20 years and have experience in every one of these 30 collections that we've put on. You certainly only get better with experience, and RM really has a great deal of it.